welcome everybody that's joined already. As always, my name is Rick. I'm Growth Community Manager and the host of the Micro Lessons. Thank you guys for joining in. Really excited to put this lesson with you guys with our returning guest and good friend Jason. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about top 10 workflows every HubSpot portal needs. Very needed topic. People need to make the most out of their investment. This is one of the best ways to do it. Enough from me though. Jason, you're the boss. Take it from here.
I don't know about that, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, this is something that's near and dear to my heart. Working within HubSpot for a decade or so now. In many ways, it's always a bummer to see how many people are not taking advantage of the workflows and how they work and what they do. So let's jump right in with a little. Who the heck is this guy? That's me. I'm Jason Gless. Nice to meet you guys. I am HubSpot certified trainer. I am a solutions architect, according to a few, and a legendary father, according to one. I'm out of the Grand Rapids, Michigan area, so if you're ever nearby, come say hi. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to go over a couple the different types of workflows that are out there. Hopefully you'll get a better understanding on how to create effective workflows and what that looks like. And then, of course, get to the top 10 that everyone should have. I feel like we need like some countdown music, some drum roll. I'm telling you, Rick, it'd be a little bit more active. So what are workflows? Workflows are essentially, don't get ahead of myself, workflows are automations. And this is very specific to HubSpot, but we know other softwares have that. But we want something to happen in the background. And we want, when something happens, something else to happen. And these automations are really one of the many power horses in HubSpot that will streamline your business, and actually want to share some of the rewards that come of that. So looking at those time savings, right? It's going to allow us to automate repetitive tasks, free up more strategic time for those activities. It's going to provide consistency to ensure that every lead or customer receives the same high quality experience. It'll provide personalization, delivering that content and communication based on specific triggers and behaviors. Provide efficiency, streamlining processes across marketing, sales, service, and teams, and data-driven decisions, which is great because now we're not just picking up an idea. We actually know what that idea is. And with that, we're using the workflow analytics to track performance and make informed decisions to optimize your processes. So overall, leveraging HubSpot workflows will allow you to enhance your operational efficiency. I can't stress that enough. It's going to improve your customer engagement, and it's going to really help you achieve your marketing and sales goals more effectively. With that, I find my mouse again. So there's special components to a workflow. There are things that need to happen. The first is a trigger. The enrollment trigger is a certain criteria that needs to be met. So when I am a part of a list, or when I fill out a form, that's when the HubSpot workflow begins. Actions. This is, it's an action. What do we want to do? Do we want to send an email? Do we want me to send a notification? Do we want to create a activity? Anything like that, any type of action that we want to do is part of that. Then we have delays, and there's several different types of delays, but how long do we want to pause based on time? 2 days, a specific date, until a certain other activity happens. And then there's the branching logic, and the best way to think of this is to me, it's like the old if then else kind of theory. So think, if this happens, then do this. If not, do something else. So, did Rick open that email? If he did, cool. If he didn't, let's send it again. And then goals. So what do we want to see as an end result? What are we hoping the person contact, whatever that might be that is enrolled, what are we hoping they might do? So with that, there are also different types of workflows. And these are relatively straightforward. It's very similar if you use HubSpot before, that these, again, fall into those general areas of contacts, deals, companies, tickets, and quotes. So this is what we base the entire workflow on. Is it an action that's happening in a ticket? So when Katrina is yelling at me like, hey, in service, that ticket needs to be updated. And I go, well, I didn't get, a notification. She says, yeah, I made a workflow based on that ticket to do that. So it's very helpful to do many things there. But again, that is the different types of workflows. So I want to walk through an example, and this is kind of how these will look as we walk through these. I want to get through a lot of this original stuff as soon as basic stuff as soon as possible, so we can look at really the top 10. These will be presented in different ways, but really what we're looking at here is a trigger, right? So the trigger for this workflow example is someone has completed, let's say Rick has completed a contact sales form on a website. He's interested and wants to learn more. Could someone from sales reach out to me? So the first action is sending an email back to Rick saying, hey, thanks for reaching out. We'll be in touch in a few days. And then it shouldn't delay. It should create a second action to create a task for sales. The sales department, let's say Will, gets a task that says, hey, you need to reach out to Rick. And then the workflow is going to delay. So it's just going to pause for 2 days and just be there to hang out. After 2 days, it's going to continue down into an if-then branch. So that we're going to call check outreach status. If connected, so if we see there's activity, we see that Will did reach out to Rick, we're good. It's working. We can exit the workflow. If not, we need to reach out to Chris, the sales manager, because Will's not doing his job and it's not going to be a good conversation. Rick's not getting any information from the sales department. Things are not happening. So that's an example of the workflows that we'll kind of walk through. And I put together a couple different ways that I'll present them so you can see how they look. Rick, how are we doing so far? You with me?
Absolutely, Jason. I love the analogy of bringing in the team members.
Will's going to have an opinion on that.
I'll certainly clip this and send it to him.
Yeah. Top 10 workflows. So let's really get to it. Like I said, I try to get through the first part. We need some of that background information, but these are really imperative. And if these 10 are not in your HubSpot right now, you're wrong. We need them in some form. Customize these to make them yours. Number 10, data cleanup. We all know that HubSpot charges you for marketing contacts versus non-marketing contacts. I share that in a different webinar. You can find that on our YouTube channel. Take a look. And don't forget to smash a like button. I don't know. I've always wanted to say that. I've never said that on a webinar before. Anyway, let's look at this a little closer. So the goal of this is to move unengaged contacts to non-marketing contacts. The more marketing contacts we have that are good, the more people we can reach out to. So for an example, if there aren't any email opens and there's no marketing activity for over 90 days, depending on your sales cycle, maybe it's longer, maybe it's 3 months, 90 days, 12 weeks, whatever that may be, that's when we want to enroll these folks in this workflow. And we're going to give them another chance. We're going to send out a re-engagement email that says, hey, we haven't heard from you. Where are you? What's going on? Are you okay? Are you alive? If we want to delay 7 days, maybe they're on vacation, maybe they're flying down to Orlando again, whatever that may be, Rich. And then we want to look at it if-then branch. So this is where we're going to check for engagement. 7 days later, did they engage, I guess, with that email? If so, well, we better send some better content. I think I just said better. We better send. Anyway, if not, we need to update that status to non-marketing because they're not engaging and we can get other marketing contacts in there. So that's number 10. Number 9 is new customer welcome. As soon as someone makes a purchase, subscribes to something, we want to get out and welcome that customer. This is pretty straightforward, but often overlooked. So the trigger, a purchase was made, they subscribed or whatever it may have been. We want to send them out an email right away that says, thank you, welcome. we're so happy you're here. We're going to give it about 12 days. So I say maybe 2 weeks before we're going to send a follow-up email that said, hey, thank you for your purchase. You got your widget. What do you think about it? How is it? Would you mind leaving us a review? So again, simple, direct, and to the point, but very important we have that. Number 8, one that is usually used but not in its full capacity, is the event marketing. So this one I've shared a little different diagram for this. My lack of Miro skills, apologies, but I think we get the idea. So again, the overall idea for this one is promoting an upcoming event. So think if you're going to some sort of show and you're going to be at that show, not just attending, but you're going to have a booth. We want to start about 12 days prior, sending out that first email. And it's going to share a little bit of information about what's happening. Then we go to 6 days out. We're going to share some additional information, why that event is important. And then it goes to 3 days out. This is how to find us at the event. We send out an email at the event. And then we start that if then. So if they attended, we're going to send out emails saying, thank you. It was great seeing you. And then we're going to ask for a little bit more information. What would you like to know? Kind of a little bit more of a CTA. Whereas if they did not attend, we're going to share, hey, this is what you missed. These are the new trends. This is what we learned. This is what's happening. Would you like to know more? Might be the next email. And again, that kind of goes back to, if we get a response, let's forward that over to sales, update their life cycle stage to a SQL, because they're interested in learning more about whatever you did at that event. If not, put them in a subscriber or a MQL workflow. Number 7 is a product service recommendation. This is often used and very effective based on a persona. So it's always important that we know the ICP or persona of people in your HubSpot. And the entire goal of this is to recommend something based on a previous action. So if we identify on day 1 that they are interested in a specific product or service, we want to send out an email that links additional information, sending up 3, maybe 4 following emails on how we've helped others, other things we can do, and then finally coming to a point where we say, hey, we want you to do something. We're going to give you a CTA to purchase this, a call to action to say, buy now, subscribe now. And hopefully that goes to a lead into a deal. If not, we want to continue down that tree and talk about, are you still interested? Here's why. Hopefully we get that last action. If not, no response, we're going to update that persona based on what we know. Number 6, new subscriber. This is pretty similar to what we shared earlier with the sales, nonetheless extremely important. As soon as Rich goes out to your website and Rich decides, hey, I'd like to learn more about American football because it's really cool. I'm going to subscribe to the NFL.com. I'm not working for them. I don't watch football, so no comment. But we're going to delay 15 minutes because we don't want to be complete creepers to Rich. And as soon as he completes that form, we send an email. We're going to delay a little bit. We're going to send out a welcome email saying, thank you, welcome, this is what you can expect. And we're going to delay on average about 3 days. Then we're going to send an email saying, this is who we are. This is what we're about. Delay another 5 days. So we're starting to stretch it out. And we're going to send a did you know type email, something saying, did you know this is what we do or this is who we are? Something that might be a would you like to know more? Starship Troopers, favorite movie. Would you like to know more? And then after that, we're going to enroll them into probably some sort of MQL Nurturing Workflow. So that's available as well. A lot of these delays in these days set up are based on best practices we have found over time. So if you're curious where that's coming from, that's there. Number 5, halfway through, is our deal creation. Especially in HubSpot, it's very important that we create a deal only when the lifecycle stage reaches that opportunity. Again, there's another whole video on that Rick helped me record, so that's on our channel. Take a look. But once the deal stage hits that, once we have a deal we're ready to create, we can automatically do this. So the goal here is to create a deal every time, the right time. So theoretically, your life cycle stage should be SQL, sales qualified lead, and your lead status should be deal or opportunity. So that salesperson is going in there and changing that lead status to deal or opportunity. That's the trigger. Once that happens, we're going to take the action of creating a new deal. We're going to update the deal name, stage, amount, deal owner, anything you want, so it's automatically updated every single time the way that you need it to be. The next action is sending an internal notification, followed by a sales task and follow-up task. So we're automatically going to start laying out everything for success to move that through our sales pipeline. And then we're going to do kind of a delay and check-in with the if-then. Has this been worked in the last 7 days? If not, maybe sales management needs to get involved. And then we want to also, if then, a 30-day delay, depending on your sales cycle. And has it gone cold? Has anyone been working this? And if not, maybe we need to do something with it or do something else. So on the back 9, we're going to jump into number 4, MQL nurturing. So the way that we reach out to people from marketing is very different from the way that we reach out to people in sales. So we want to keep that in mind. And the whole goal of MQL subscriber or even a lead is to hand them over to sales. So a lot of that goal is nurturing. So when the life cycle stage is identified as a lead, maybe even subscriber sometimes, or an MQL, we want to send them very specific content based on their persona. So identifying that, hey, this person is interested in us. They also like the widgets that we make. We want to give this information. So we're going to have a little delay. We're going to send them information. Was that email opened? Did they get that content? Did they read it? If yes, cool. Let's send it again. If not, let's resend it until to the ones that didn't open it. So if you send that first email and they didn't open it, 2 days later, let's resend that same email. Let's get that in front of them so they're opening it. They're getting this content. It's very important. It's very specific to what they are, who they are, and what they're interested in. So after that, about every 7 days, we're just going to repeat this 2, 3, 4, 5 times, ultimately ending with something that asks them to do something. We want them to get in touch with sales. So very important. Hope you can hear my son upstairs. Apparently he just finished some Olympic challenge. Thanks, bud. Persona updates. This is one of my personal favorites because how many times do we get someone that subscribes but doesn't tell us who they are? We just have a name, an email, and maybe a zip code or a location. We want to know what are their interests, what do they like to do. So again, this is where we're going to send out an email saying thank you, welcome to our subscription page, or whatever that may be. Take a minute and fill out this form. We can't necessarily embed the form in the email. We can provide a link to a landing page that says, let us know what you're interested in. Do you want to learn more about sales? Do you want to learn more about service? Do you want to learn more about anything else? And then we're going to do the if-then branch all the way through, which, again, form fill. Hopefully we get that and we can then update their persona. No form fill, we repeat it. Hey, you still haven't updated your preferences. Would you mind taking a minute doing that? Form fill again, hopefully. If not, we'll do one last time. Hey, we haven't heard from you. Are you willing to do that? Take a few minutes, help yourself out. So this is one that I wanted to show what it actually looks like in real world. So we have the trigger here, which is has completed form submission. They won't re-enroll because hopefully we get it the first time. We don't need a second time. We do that delay. Again, kind of a personal best practice, making sure everything's correct in HubSpot. We send them out that template. It's an M-new subscriber one that is kind of a best practice for us. That's a marketing email, so we know that. Going out there, we're going to delay for 3 days, and that's when we start our first branch. Did or did they not complete that? If they did complete it, they'll end up on the right, where they'll go to some other workflow or someone will notify someone, something like that. If they did not, we're going to send out that second email. We're going to have another delay, a little bit shorter, letting them know that, hey, we're still here. And then it comes up to our next branch. And again, on the right, hopefully they did it. If not, we're going to send a third and final email saying, hey, we haven't heard from you. We're going to wait 5 days. and then send them through whatever next workflow from there. So our top two, if you're still with us, I hope you are. This one's kind of a little bit of a cheat. This is more of automation than a workflow. So it's lead scoring, and lead scoring is imperative. It provides sales with engaged contacts at a certain level. It helps marketing send specific information to different people, but albeit arbitrary, it measures different things that are happening. So this is actually done not through workflows, but can be influenced, but contact lead score. So this is in your settings, and we want to build a score. So for every thing I do, I want to add a point or remove a point. When I said arbitrary, it can add 10 points, or it can remove 10 points, or it can add 100 points, or remove 100 points. It's really up to you on how you want to set that up. But you'll want to consider things like, are they engaged with my marketing? Are they associated on our Facebook and posting or responding? And the more of those things they're doing, the more positive the score we want to give. But if they haven't engaged on our Facebook in 6 months or more, maybe we want to give that a negative score. So we bring them down. So the score goes up and down based on their activities, what they're doing, how they're interacting with us. And that's going to give us a number. So the higher the number, the more likely that person may be interested in working with us. Again, sometimes you want to filter out people that are already in the life cycle of SQL. But customers, I always recommend keeping them in there because there might be some repeat business. Number one, which I think is absolutely imperative, that's why I placed it at number one, is lean nurturing. This is, think of it as a drip campaign, but it's very direct to the point. We're not sending huge emails out on this. So let's take a look at this again. And this is over time, the leads that we want to go after in a very lean way. So it's about a month and a week, 4 weeks, 40 days. And we want to start out with these emails, and the entire purpose is to say who you are and go through this. And this is really from a sales drip campaign perspective. Identify how you've helped others, move through and share information. Again, what you're doing in the industry, how it helped them. You're really giving that value proposition. And then you want to talk towards their pain points, kind of, even if you can, ask what their pain points are, what you can expect from our service. And then letting them know, coming to email 6, 7, 8, this is how we can start creating trust, right? In sales, anytime, it's 9, 10, 11, 12 times before we reach out. So you can do this effectively through a sequence as well, where you're doing phone calls, you're doing LinkedIn connects. But again, this is more of the workflow side versus sequence side. And then finalizing with that last email saying, hey, I haven't heard from you. Or are we still interested? Is there someone else I should reach out to? That's why that's really number one to me, is a lean lead nurture drip campaign. And that's why workflows are our friends. That's cute. Anyway, if you have a minute, take a minute, subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's tons of people that are much smarter than me out there. Join the Redwood Grove, which Rick knows all about. And then I'll turn it over for a brief Q&A if we still have time.